Today in the show, we're going to be talking about Osiris and how he really does show that you really need to think through all of your decisions before you make them. So Osiris, he's a character not many people know about, but I feel there's a lot to be learnt from him. I actually did a history video on him recently, so before you watch this, please go and watch that, so you'll have a better understanding of what's going on in this video. But if you're still watching, I'm just going to assume that you watched that history video. So when I was making the History of Osiris video, I began to realize I did something very similar to him. I had a goal that I wanted to reach, and I set out to reach that goal. And I kind of hurt a lot of people along the way, a lot like Osiris hurt a lot of people along the way. And I've regretted it ever since I did it, and Osiris regretted it once he was able to reach the goal in the end. But I think when you're so set out on reaching that goal, you don't necessarily pay attention to the fact that you're hurting people. Even though you know you are hurting people, it's not something that you're paying attention to. Fortunately, I've changed a lot as a person and I have learned from that experience. Like, that experience was 5 or 6 years ago, so you guys have nothing to worry about. Another way I found myself relating to Osiris is that he and I both come from families that genuinely love us for us. And that's not something that's all too common these days. And I think both Osiris and I appreciate the fact that our families do love us for us. But I find it so interesting that he came from this place of pure love, of pure caring, and that's all he was exposed to. But then when he set out to reach this goal, he ended up hurting a lot of people. He ended up ruining lives, which is the opposite of pure love. But here's where it gets tricky for Osiris and the way I relate to him stops. By the time he got his sister and Black Adam back, which was his goal, he wanted to restore them, he had become corrupted, and his sister deemed him a danger to his country and said that he could not return home, meaning he could still not have that love that he worked so hard at getting back. And as much as that was heart-wrenching to read, it was very interesting as well. Like, maybe Osiris should have just moved on with his life. Maybe he should have just kept the memories of his sister and Black Adam in the past and just become the person that they would have wanted him to be. Living with regret or living with corruption is not an easy way to live. You're actively thinking about that regret for a long time, and it takes a lot to get over. It takes a lot of strength to get over. But this wasn't the only time he had to deal with the repercussions of his actions. In fact, when he first got his powers, he accidentally killed a member of the Suicide Squad and ended up turning the whole world's opinion against the Black Marvels. In a regular situation, like when Wonder Woman accidentally killed a person, the public's opinion might have been able to be swayed back in favour. But the leader of the Black Marvels was Black Adam, meaning the public's opinion was now set in stone. Osiris tried everything to try and make up for this, even going to Captain Marvel to ask for his powers to be taken away. But everyone said to him that he's not a bad person, he just needs to learn from this and move on with his life. Now, it's worth saying that while Osiris doesn't have any powers, he's unable to walk. He's disabled, making him totally vulnerable. But eventually, his friend Sobek convinced him to give up his powers. Sobek wound up devouring Osiris, obviously taking his life away. And to me, this really represents: listen to those who care about you. Listen to those who know you. It doesn't necessarily have to be your family, just listen to those who really know you, because they want to see the best for you. And if you don't listen to those people, you can wind up living with the repercussions of your decisions for a long time. And trust me, living with regret is tiring. But there are ways to fix any regrets that you may have. You can apologize, you can promise to fix the situation, or in Osiris's case, he needed to die a hero. So in Blackest Night, Osiris came back as a Black Lantern, and he was able to track down Sobek and destroy him with his own lightning, but this destroyed Osiris at the same time. But this did allow him to die a hero. I think this is reminiscent of a lot of true apologies in real life. You know, when you apologize and you genuinely mean it, you're kind of destroying a poisonous part of yourself. You're destroying regret and saying, no, I'm going to learn from this and just become a new person, become a better person. Osiris was a character that wasn't around for too long, but you could learn a lot from him, and he hasn't been utilized recently. But that makes me happy because he's a character that I feel I could utilize to kind of spread my message into the world, which is just a message of true love and pure intentions. That's just what we're going to call it for now. When I get to write for DC in the future, I'm saying when because it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I would love to write a series about Osiris, even if it's just a limited series. He's just a character I feel I could utilize so much, even more than the Titans or Tim Drake. And considering this character was only around for a very short time and he spent part of that time dead, so we didn't really get to see him that much, there is a lot to be learned from him, which is really impressive and really shows that he was written very, very well before.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. What do you think of Osiris? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more on character videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so we can hit that A-list character goal and so I can make bigger and better videos. And subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.